start changing the oil, you want to let it warm up for a few minutes, like 5 or 6 minutes, and it'll get hot, so that way the oil will drain. But then you got to be very careful because that exhaust pipe is right near the oil plug and the oil filter, so you don't want to burn yourself on this exhaust because it will be hot. Okay, we're going to do an oil change on the Vespa, and we're going to do it a little bit different than most people do and what the book suggests. The book says, you know, build a funky thing to catch the oil because the center stand blocks it, which it does, and it makes it very inconvenient. So first of all, what you need is a oil filter. I have a Velocity one. And then you need oil, which is 5W40. And I'm using this INI brand from Italy. Then you need a 24 millimeter socket. And you're going to need a way to undo the oil filter. And also you're going to need a torque wrench to torque this oil filler cap. Now, in addition to that, what I always have on hand is a new O-ring for the oil filler cap, or the oil drain cap, sorry, the oil drain plug. And inside there is a filter, an oil filter that looks like this. So it needs to be cleaned. So instead of cleaning it right now, I always have a second one that I rotate and I can clean at a later date, so I don't have to fiddle around with it right now. So what's different about the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to undo this oil plug and remove the filter, and my buddy Mike is going to tilt the bike over so the oil will drain, and I don't have to worry about it going all over my center stand and floor, and because every time I did that, no matter what kind of contraption I would make a mess. So if you don't have a side stand like I have right now holding the bike up, and the side stand goes away, by the way, it's a spring loaded, so if I tilt the bike up, the side stand will go down. So it's always better to have somebody on the other side. If you don't have a side stand, simply have them hold the bike straight. Okay? Okay, so I got an extra long thing to undo the extension to my ratchet so I can get in there. Okay? And then I have my buddy Mike holding the Vespa, and I'm going to try and loosen this. Whoa! That's tight. So she's loose. So now I'm going to put this under here, and we'll let most of the oil drain this way. So I'll take this out. And we'll let the oil drain. And it's always advisable to have a little cloth, and we're going to clean this up. And there's that gasket, that little O-ring that we're going to replace with a new one. And then we have this little filter that we're just going to pull up gently, and then the oil will come out. So now what we can do is tilt the bike a bit, Mike. Yeah. That's it. You can tilt more. And we'll just let that drain. So now the oil is draining. And we'll just leave it for a few minutes. Okay, so it's drained. So I'm just going to clean this off now. And we'll put the clean one in. And what we're going to do is there's a little gasket at the end here, right there. So I'm just going to take some new oil and wet that and stick that in. There, like that. Okay, then we're going to take a brand new ring, and I'm going to just, with the oil, put it on the O-ring and stick it onto the new drain plug, and I'm just going to put it in for now loosely, and I will tighten it later on, because the next step is to remove the oil filter. So in order to do that, we just undo the oil filter. And we remove the filter. And Mike can tilt the bike one more time. And there might be a little bit more oil coming out. And we empty the filter. And we'll just tilt it. So now we're just going to tidy it up a bit. Take the new filter and put a little bit of oil on the gasket. And okay, and we'll turn it tight and a quarter turn more. So basically, it's hand tight at the moment. And we're going to just turn this 1/4 turn. So the spec for the torque before we're finished is 24 to 30 Newton meters. So we're just going to tighten it up to that. And that's the last thing we do before we put the oil in. There we go. 24 to 30. Okay, last but not least is getting the oil into the bike. And basically it takes 1.3 liters, so one of these, and 300 milliliters, and we're good to go. So again, what I said when I did the oil change for the BMW, and I guess I'll repeat it because you just don't want to pour fast because it will overflow, and you don't want to have it blocking the hole tight because air needs to come out. So you want to hold it just in there gently, and I guess we'll just slowly put the oil in, not too fast. There we go, 1.3 liters. So we're kind of good to go. And I guess what you can do is run it a bit and then check the oil. So we'll stick this in and we'll just run it for a minute and then let it sit and check the oil. Turn it off, let it sit, and we'll just give it a little quick check here. And these things are really hard to tell if it's full. You really got to get used to it. There's like a little minimum maximum with little crosses on it, and even dry it looks wet. So I screw it in and then unscrew it, and we're right at the max. So it looks perfect to me, and that's it. One oil change on a Vespa. No biggie there.